Picture this. You've just landed after a 7-hour flight. Your back aches, your head is pounding, and you feel like you aged 5 years in that cramped seat. Meanwhile, the person sitting 2 rows ahead of you walks off the plane looking refreshed, hydrated, and completely put together. What do they know that you don't? Because I promise you, it's not luck. It's not a first-class ticket either. It's a set of habits, and today you're going to learn every single one of them. I've spent years flying for both work and pleasure, accumulated more frequent flyer miles than I care to admit, and somewhere along the way, I started paying very close attention to what separates the travelers who arrive wrecked from the ones who arrive ready. The difference is real, and it starts before you ever step onto the plane. Let's talk about what happens in the hours before your flight, because this is where most people already lose the game. Smart travelers do not eat a massive meal right before boarding. Your digestive system slows down dramatically at altitude. The cabin pressure changes the way gas expands in your body, which means that heavy pasta dish or that greasy airport burger is going to make you feel genuinely uncomfortable for the entire flight. Instead, eat something light and high in protein a couple of hours before you leave for the airport. Think eggs, nuts, grilled chicken, things that sit easy and give you sustained energy without the bloat. Hydration before the flight is equally important, and I cannot overstate this. The humidity level inside an airplane cabin typically drops to somewhere between 10 and 20%. For context, the Sahara Desert sits at around 25% humidity. You are literally flying through air drier than a desert. So if you board already slightly dehydrated because you had coffee and nothing else that morning, you are setting yourself up for a miserable experience. Drink water consistently in the hours before your flight. Not soda, not alcohol, not another coffee. Water. Now here's something most people never think about. Smart travelers research their aircraft type before they fly. You can actually look up which specific plane your airline is using for your route. So why does this matter? Because newer aircraft like the Boeing 787 Dreamliner or the Airbus A350 are pressurized at a lower effective altitude than older planes, which means less physical stress on your body, better humidity levels, and you actually feel better when you land. If you have a choice between 2 similar flights and one operates on a newer aircraft, that's worth knowing. Seat selection strategy is an art form that most casual travelers completely ignore. The back of the plane is generally louder and experiences more turbulent sensation. The front of economy closest to business class often has more legroom in the exit rows and bulkhead seats. But here's the nuance. Bulkhead seats cannot store bags under the seat in front of you because there is no seat in front of you, so overhead space becomes crucial. Exit rows offer legroom, but the armrests often don't go up, which matters if you're trying to spread out or rest comfortably. Smart travelers book seats early. Look at seat maps on sites like Seat Guru and make intentional choices rather than just accepting whatever gets assigned. Now you're on the plane. This is where things get interesting. The first thing a smart traveler does before the seatbelt sign even turns off after takeoff is establish their space. They get their neck pillow on, their headphones out, their essentials within reach. They're not scrambling through an overhead bin 30 minutes into the flight. Everything they need for the journey is already organized and accessible, usually in a personal item under the seat in front of them. Movement is non-negotiable on longer flights, and this is something the research absolutely backs up. Sitting still for extended periods significantly increases your risk of deep vein thrombosis, which is the formation of blood clots typically in your legs. Smart travelers set a reminder on their phone or watch to get up and walk the aisle at least once every 90 minutes on flights over 3 hours. They do ankle circles and calf raises even while seated. It sounds simple, but it genuinely protects your health and keeps you feeling human when you land. Compression socks are not just for elderly passengers or medical cases. Professional athletes wear them on long-haul flights. They reduce leg swelling, improve circulation, and help you land feeling significantly less stiff. If you have never tried compression socks on a flight, put them on your list for the next time you travel internationally. The difference is noticeable. Here's something counterintuitive about sleep on planes. Most people try to sleep the moment the lights dim without any preparation, and then wonder why they wake up feeling worse than before. Smart travelers approach in-flight sleep strategically. If you're flying overnight and need to arrive functional, sleep is the goal. Take a very small dose of melatonin, not a heavy sleep aid that leaves you groggy, and time it so you're ready to sleep about 30 minutes into the flight. Wear an eye mask. Use noise-canceling headphones with either silence or consistent ambient sound, and position your neck support properly before you close your eyes. The preparation makes the difference between 2 hours of genuine restorative rest and 2 hours of restless, neck-cramping misery. On the flip side, if you're flying somewhere and you need to hit the ground running in local time, staying awake and adapting to the destination's time zone during the flight is the smarter play. Watch something engaging, keep your brain active, and resist the urge to sleep until it aligns with your destination's nighttime hours. Nutrition mid-flight is another area where smart travelers diverge from the crowd. Airline food tends to be high in sodium, which dehydrates you further at a time when you're already fighting dry cabin air. Smart travelers either bring their own food or eat sparingly from the meal service and supplement with their own snacks. We're talking almonds, whole grain crackers, protein bars, things that give real nutrition without the sodium spike. And water. Always more water. Aim for at least 8 ounces of water for every hour you're in the air. Let's talk about the mental game of flying, because this is underrated. Long flights can trigger genuine anxiety in some people and low-level irritability in almost everyone after a few hours. Smart travelers come prepared with intention. That means having a curated playlist, a downloaded series, or film they've actually been excited to watch, or a book or podcast that demands enough attention to make the time move. Passive consumption of random in-flight entertainment usually leaves you feeling worse. Active engagement with content you actually care about makes the flight feel shorter and keeps your mind in a better state. Smart travelers also manage their expectations around delays and disruptions. They build buffer time into their connections, never booking a tight layover when they have flexibility. They know their airline's policies around delays and rebooking before they ever encounter a problem. They have the airline's customer service number saved in their phone and know that calling while standing in a customer service line simultaneously often gets you a resolution faster than waiting for an agent at the gate. These are not things you figure out in the moment. These are things you know before you go. Another powerful habit is keeping a small personal hygiene kit accessible throughout the flight. We're not talking about a full toiletry bag. We're talking about lip balm, a small facial mist, some moisturizer, a toothbrush and mini toothpaste, and eye drops if you wear contacts or suffer in dry environments. On a long flight, freshening up mid-journey does something powerful for your mental state. It resets your sense of comfort and dignity in a way that the research on travel psychology actually supports. Feeling physically refreshed creates a psychological lift that carries you through the final hours. Landing strategy matters as much as everything else. Smart travelers adjust their watch or phone to the destination time zone the moment they board. They're already mentally living in the new time zone. They hydrate extra before descent because cabin pressure changes during descent stress your body again. They do one final set of stretches or walking before the seatbelt sign comes on for landing. And when they walk off that plane, they look like the person 2 rows ahead of you, rested, ready, and already thinking about their next destination. None of this is complicated. None of it requires an upgrade or a premium loyalty status. It's just awareness, preparation, and a handful of habits that compound across every single flight you take. Start with the water. Start with the seat selection. Start with moving every 90 minutes. Pick one thing from everything you just heard and apply it on your very next flight. Because flying doesn't have to wreck you, it just requires that you fly smarter.